good. Powerful women, positive vibes. Be yourself, sending positive vibes. Good vibes.
Welcome back to Vibes, and today I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Shay Domingo.
How you doing?
And today we're going to talk to Stacy-Ann Buchanan about mental health.
Woo-hoo.
It's a stigma, right?
Yes, especially in the Black community.
Definitely. I mean, like in Jamaica, then when I say the boy, they're mad. And sometimes it's a mental issue.
Right.
You know, and it's sad. So we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to have some fun with it, okay?
Yes.
It's not, what's so bad about it? Why can't we talk about it?
We need to talk about it.
Why do we have to be in denial? Like, if someone is sick, they're sick. I mean, sometimes we can't help that.
Yes, we have to
Right?
speak up, speak out, and get help, and not be afraid to get help.
Definitely.
So I'm really excited to hear from Stacy and how she's overcome and what she's doing in the community to make a difference.
Oh my God, she's making a big difference.
I know she is. I'm excited.
This girl is phenomenal. Like, seriously, she's just a beautiful person inside
Yeah.
and out. And I am glad that she's going to be vibing with us today.
Woo-hoo, Stacy.
Stacy, go Stacy, go Stacy, go Stacy.
The year was 2011. I was 29 years old and I decided to pack up and leave Toronto and move to Vancouver to pursue my dreams of becoming a famous actress just like Halle Berry. I mean, we share the same birthday, so I thought, why not the same success? See, 30 was only 6 months away, and I put a time on success. And I felt I had to achieve a career because I didn't have the husband, I didn't have the 2.5 kids, and I certainly didn't have the house with a white picket fence.
All right, so we would love to know who Stacy-Ann Buchanan is. Tell us who she is.
Okay, so Stacy-Ann Buchanan is a woman that is walking in her God-given purpose. I could describe it like that, and then I could get into a little bit more about who I am. But I'm basically an actress, a filmmaker.
So growing up, I struggled a lot with depression and anxiety and an eating disorder. I think why it's hard for me to talk about just struggling with body image and being at a point where I was actually taking diuretics, trying to starve myself. In the Black community, you say eating disorder and people just think, no, that's not a Black girl thing. That doesn't happen.
A TEDx speaker, and something that I hold really dear to me, I'm a mental health advocate. And I mostly advocate for mental health within the Black community.
Love it.
Can you tell us a little bit about mental health?
Sure. Overall, it's how I got to this spot, first of all, is I struggled with depression in the past, and I live with anxiety currently right now. So I used my own personal journey, and I decided to shed some light and spread some awareness on how mental health is viewed in the Black community, because it's something that is not talked about. It is something that is continuously swept under the rug. Absolutely. It is the big elephant in the room that nobody addresses. It is passed through generation and generation and generation, and it's covered up. It's secrecy, it's shame, and more importantly, it is the biggest silent killer in our community.
And why is that so? Like, what do you think?
Because we don't talk about it. We are conditioned to be the strong Black man and the strong Black woman. And we think that being strong is just carrying this big, heavy load, just continuously carrying things and holding things in. When in reality, I am such an advocate for dismantling that whole stigma of strength and saying strength is actually what you choose to put down, not what you continuously carry. And that is the reason why it is such a shame in our community, because we think that we're the only ones. And it's usually looked upon as something that is not a real factor, but something that is more per se demonic and something that you can pray away, not something that is addressed like a physical illness.
Right. So do you think it has anything to do with like family generational things like that? You know how sometimes you're taught not to say things or keep secrets within the family, and that kind of comes into something bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can go as far as saying this. I saw a quote recently on Instagram that said, when slavery ended, no one sat the freed slaves down and give them therapy. Wow. Now think about that.
True.
That's powerful.
So everything that our ancestors have been holding on to, that they have been dealing with, is passed on through us. So whenever we see a Black person being murdered online, we see that on TV, you feel it because it's trauma that's in our DNA. It's generational trauma that is continuously passed down. So if we're the generation that's going to say, you know what, I am not going to be silent about mental illness. I'm not. I don't care if people think that it's a shame. I don't care if the stigmas that are there. I don't care if people are going to look at me differently. I am going to speak out. And I think if we all choose that path to start talking about it, it will dismantle a lot of the stigmas that is put there for us.
Definitely.
That's great information. Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you for sharing that with us.
No problem.
What motivates you in some of your accomplishments?
What motivates me? Honestly, it's just knowing that I am making a difference. Truly, it's knowing that I'm making a difference. It's the fact that every day I look at it as that I'm granted life. I look at that as a gift, because I've been at a place where I wanted to take my own life. I didn't think I was worthy enough to be alive. So what motivates me is the fact that I'm healthy. I get up every day. I have my daughter. She motivates me. But it's also the fact that I am making a difference, and I'm not just walking the walk. I am talking the talk as well.
Definitely. Not only that, you're beautiful inside and out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, your name is very powerful.
Thank you.
Beautiful strength and power and sophistication and all that beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Tell us about your some personal struggles,
or just personal struggles in your life that you dealt with, like with mental health and all stuff like that, and things that you've overcome and how you overcame them.
Yes.
Okay, so I struggled with depression and suicidal ideations. I also struggle with anxiety. Now, I want to say this to everyone that's watching this. Yeah. Every time we think that a person who struggles with mental illness, we think that they're probably homeless, they're haggard, they don't know which way they're going. A person that lives with mental illness or struggles with mental illness looks just like me. It's fine as me, as accomplished as me.
Wow.
It's like I am proud enough to own that I do struggle with anxiety. I also know that my anxiety fuels a lot of my ambition. The fact that I cannot sit down, I always have to do. I've learned to manage that and know that my self-care routine is down packed. So I know myself, I know my body, and I know my triggers. So I made sure that that part of me is taken care of. I've struggled with depression and the fact that maybe you ladies can relate to, I've always wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a superstar like Halle Berry. So I moved from Toronto to Vancouver, and my ultimate goal was to go down to LA eventually. I gave myself 6 months to be super famous, just 6 months. I'm like, I can do this in 6 months, I don't care. And then when that 6 months was coming to an end, I noticed I started doing things a little bit fast. I was struggling with anxiety and I didn't know that. I had a nurse friend at the time and she's like, I think it's anxiety. And I just remember thinking to myself, anxiety is something that white girls usually get. I've never heard of a Black person getting anxiety. And this was 2011. But that is to show the ignorance in our community that the language around mental illness is not talked about.
Yes.
It's either, and especially from the Jamaican community, Katora, it's like you're gone mad. It's either you're sane or you're mad. There's no in between. And so I grew up with, there isn't a language around mental illness for us. So in 2011, that's when I'm learning that anxiety doesn't just affect white girls. It affects everybody. So I struggled with that so much that I had to come back home to Toronto because I was really sick. My heart rate was beating at 1,000,000 miles per second, and I just couldn't sleep. So I came back home to Toronto. Now, the fear of coming back home to Toronto, not accomplishing the superstar stardom that I wanted, spiraled me into depression. And I struggled with this depression. And my depression came in 2 stages. So it's the one that is normally known. You know, you're not eating, or you're sleeping all the time, the blinds are closed, you're not brushing your teeth for days, you're not showering for days, you don't want to talk to anybody, you're either eating yourself silly or not eating at all, right? We know that form of depression.
Yeah.
But another form of depression that a lot of people don't talk about is the facade of happiness. So another part where I was just making sure that my hair was like done to the 9, my makeup was done to the 9, my nails was done, and I was going out and partying and dancing away because I knew that I was sick on the inside, and I didn't know how to cure myself. So I figured a life of a facade of happiness.
Wow.
And so I always tell people, you check on the friends that you haven't heard from in a while, or the strong friend, but you need to check on that friend that's always traveling, okay? Maybe they're trying to escape or something. You need to check on the friend that's always constantly posting on social media, this is what I'm wearing, a video of this is my body, this is everything. They're probably seeking external validation because they're sick on the inside. There's so many different factors that we don't know about, and a lot of people pull on this facade of happiness. That is a form of depression that is not talked about. And I struggled with that. So back to knowing my body and knowing myself, I had to do intensive work on myself. So if I feel like I'm going into a hole, if I feel like I'm feeling a little bit depressed, because there's a difference between being depressed and depression, right? If I feel like I'm ever entering that, I made sure that I'm like, okay, self-care is a must. Self-care is definitely a must. It's the same with my anxiety. It's definitely managed, but at the same time, I do know my triggers. So one thing is like, if I'm at an event and I become overwhelmed and it starts with the sweaty armpits, I leave or I go to the washroom, period. My mental health comes first. I don't put anything above that. So I hope that answers the question.
Oh my God, definitely.
You answered the question, and you taught me a lot. Like
Me too, even about myself.
yeah, like mental health and like friends around us. Like
Yeah.
it clicked to me, like to check on those people, like you said, that you just naturally think something's wrong over excessive thing that they're doing.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It's really powerful, and it's informative, and it's just beautiful. And I love how you are going about it. You know what I'm saying? You're not ashamed to talk about it.
No.
Nothing to be ashamed of, you know, about. As you said, Jamaicans, them like call people mad. And you can't tell them, if you tell them, say something, you think something wrong with you, then say you're mad, I have to go sit down. And you can't talk to people like that.
You can't. And that's why I say that we have to create safe spaces in our community. And the safe spaces starts within us.
Yes.
So if you choose to tell me something, it stays there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because we're so, the fear of people knowing our business. That's the thing, you know, and being judged. That's why we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And then we seem to think that we are the only one. And trust me, you're not the only one.
Nowhere near the only one.
Also need to respect people's struggles. So just because this person lives in a big house and drive a big car and you think they have it made, they're going through internal struggles that you cannot judge them for. Right? There needs to be a respect there. So, yeah.
All right. Okay, so tell us something fun about Stacy-Ann.
Something fun?
Yes.
Something that you do.
Okay. Back in the day, I was like a dancehall queen. I love dancehall.
Bust a wine, show me, girl. Bust a wine, my girl. Bust a wine. Bust a wine, my girl. Bust a wine.
Dancehall music, believe it or not, some people use different forms of things to motivate them at times. Dancehall music. I put on some Spice. I know your first episode was on Spice. I put on some Spice. And I'm good to go. I put on some Vibes Cartel. I put on some Walking Trophy. You can't talk to me. And then I just walk out in the day.
So what make us in a Stacy-Ann? So wine, come on, you have on vibes. Vibes it up. What's a wine show in a Stacy-Ann? Come on.
Oh my God. Like, next time. I'm coming out vibes next time.
Okay, Stacy, tell the audience where they can find you, please.
You can find me on social media. I go by Stacy-Ann Buchanan on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. I'm there. And I always say this, if anybody has any questions about mental illness, if you want to share something that you feel like you don't have a confidant to talk to, you can always slide in my inbox. I'm more than happy to help you out. I'm more than happy to share resources that I have. I'm more than happy to lend a listening ear. So yeah.
Oh my God, this was wonderful. Thank you so much, Stacy, for vibing with us. I hope you come again.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay? And
okay.
For doing this beautiful work that you're doing. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you, ladies. Okay.
Nice meeting
and
you.
kiss that gorgeous baby for us, okay?
I will, friend. And Tikatora says to kiss you. Mwah.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye.
Bye.
Stacy.
Bye. Nice meeting you.
And thank you, audience, for vibing with us. We love you. Please go subscribe to Vibes on YouTube, VIBESCC, and Instagram, Vibes24. We love you. Mwah, 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 mwah. Positive
Till next
vibes.
time.
Bye. Goodbye. Stacy didn't bust a wine. Hey! Bye.
Bye, Stacy.
Powerful women, positive vibes. Be yourself, sending positive vibes.